Hello, and a very good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you're watching us from. Thank you for joining us here at Crafters TV. My name's Ben Moseby. Nice to have you with us. Start of a brand new week. Thanks for being here. I hope you've had a brilliant weekend. Hope you enjoyed our little show earlier on, our 60-minute craft vault. If you didn't see it, well, I mean, you missed out on all the deals, didn't you? But there we go, into every life. We can kind of make things a little bit better for you this evening as we bring you a masterclass all about backgrounds with a whole host of brilliant Sheena goodies on the show as well, plus deals with items up to 70% off. Now, with this being a masterclass, this is where you do the hard work, remember? So I get to sort of, you know, sit back, relax and chill and that kind of thing, and you come up with all the questions and the content and stuff, and I fire all of that over to Sheena, who kind of does your requests, answers your questions, so you make it nice and easy for me, basically. That's what we're hopefully going to do tonight. But in all seriousness, please ask those questions. Please get those requests in, because you know wonderful Sheena will start demonstrating. She'll go off on massive tangents and do her own thing if you don't. So let's try and point her in some sort of direction, the direction that you want to go, and let's make it a very interactive masterclass, please and thank you. Before I introduce you to Sheena, let me just tell you as well that it is day number 7 of our 12 days of Craftmas. I'm sure you've seen over on the website. Today we have a code, another code, 10 off. Is the code TENOFF, 10 off, and that will give you £10, $10 off a £60, $60 spend. So if you're planning on spending a bit, use that code, you are welcome. I think it's standard T's and C's, but as per, if you spend 60, just type in the code, and if it can apply, it will apply. It's not just me, as I've mentioned over the course of the next couple of hours. No, it is the one and only, I can't remember what was that. What did we call you earlier on? A wizard of craft, or I think Nicola called you a witch in the nicest possible way.
Yeah, really nice. Thanks.
Yeah. But actually, it's the crafty elf, Sheena Douglas. How are you with your lovely elf top?
I'm feeling very elfy.
Yeah.
And ready to go. I like backgrounds. Come on. It's like what's not to love? And it is true. I will be on a tangent.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go on a tangent right now, and yeah, back in the room. But so yes. Let's know what you want.
Yeah.
We'll kick it off. We'll start the ball rolling. But as Ben said, if you've got any questions, now is the time.
Yeah. Just ask away, and if we can, we will. Becky's on the show tonight, and already in is Rebecca Dancer saying hello, Ben and Sheena and crew. Hello. Jane says good morning, everyone, from a fabulous Las Vegas. Hi to Hillary, who says hello, everyone, from Hillary and Holly Collie.
Oh.
Hello. Woof.
Yep. Woof. Woof back.
Carletta joins us from Arkansas. PB Brewer Martin is in GA. Mary Beth Doyle joins us in Minnesota. Cookmeister says good afternoon. I love that name, Cookmeister. Mosemeister here.
Yeah.
Sheenmeister.
Yeah.
Ruby joins us from Montana, and Pat says hi Ben, Sheena, Super CTV crew, and all my crafting friends from a rainy New Jersey got back from running errands. And Stephanie says good afternoon everyone from Farmingdale, New Jersey. It's lovely to be back on. We had a little bit of time off. We did Secret Santa in between shows as well, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. It was great. Yeah.
You got a nice prez, didn't you?
Yeah, forgot me little duck. Oh,
your little positivity duck.
my little positivity duck. You'll be seeing, my little mascot. You'll be following me.
Yeah.
Yeah, really cute. Yeah,
what else did you get?
Really
a duck
and a really nice sketchbook.
Yeah. Perfect.
It was like, they know me. Yeah. What? Yeah, perfect. Yeah, it was good.
I got a sumo squat game.
Except they know you too.
I also got a game, you put on a pair, it was like an 80s Guess Who I Am game where you put a pair of glasses on and then you pick a card up and you stick the card in your glasses so everyone else can see who you are, but you don't know and you have to guess who it is. So I got that. And I also got a massive tub of gummy sweets.
Oh, well, there you go. That's like, what? It absolutely pegged you right, didn't it, Ben?
Exactly.
Really, perfect.
Yeah. It's almost like whoever bought for me knew me well.
Yeah.
Hi, Cat Butt. He says, hi, Ben, Sheena, the Wizard of Art. The Wizard of Art.
Oh,
that's much better. Yeah.
The Wizard of Art. I like that.
The wonderful Wizard of Art.
I need a cape.
Huh?
I need a cape.
A cape?
Yeah. I think that Wizard of Art would have like a cape, bit like Gandalf-y kind of.
Yeah. And maybe like a big pointy hat.
I reckon.
With
I'll not take it too far. You know me.
Yeah.
I won't push it to the max or take it too far. You know, I'll keep it sensible. Obviously.
Zoe says, evening everyone, I must have known this was coming. I've just been making backgrounds. I'm looking forward to learning from the magical Sheena. I love that, the Wizard of Art. Good morning, Ben and Sheena, says Sarah. So glad to see you again. You look so festive in your elf sweater.
Thank you.
Loving yours as well, Ben. Yeah, I've gone for a little bit more, you know, stripped back, really. Over the top, stripped back.
Rude.
Eh?
Rude. This is me everyday attire at this time of the year. I've been shopping in this.
Oh dear. Did you go to the elf service checkout?
I did. Elf service. Yeah.
You look very youthful this evening, Ben, says Hilary. Thank you, because I've shaved off my beard, isn't it? 10 years younger. Shall we show you this? I think this is what we're going to start on, because we are going to be making backgrounds. So why not start on our 48 colour watercolour palette. Brilliant price on this, $27.99 or $31.96. You have got in here 48 individual colours. Brilliant, of course, for you to do all your watercolouring with. And actually, you say 48 colours, exceptional colours for all of your mixed media, for creating all of your backgrounds, but 48 colours, but actually how many colours are there here?
Infinite.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah, just limitless, because they're all going to mix together. I mean, to be honest, with the primary colours, you can go on, you know, forever, because it's all just like various degrees and, you know, combinations of those colours. But yeah, with this, it's a really big, huge palette, and it's very nice quality. Well, really good quality.
Shall we start here with you then and have a little bit of a look at this? Yeah.
Right, well, you know, as it's backgrounds, I thought, honestly, it really is difficult to know where to start. I said to Nicola, what are we going to do? Where are we going to start? She's like, well, just start with something. So we'll do two backgrounds. Let's do two backgrounds with the watercolours alone, because I think you look at watercolours and people think, oh, a bit arty, bit scary sometimes, you know. It's like, that's the proper real art world, isn't it? And, you know, maybe you've been there, done that, and it wasn't like your best, finest moment. But you don't have to use them in a traditional kind of painterly, arty way. The thing is with this one as well, you know, there's some fabulous neon colours in here. Can you see these ones here? These are super bright, gorgeous colours here. So if you get the Brian-esque new wannabe here, if Brian's watching, he ain't going to be happy. But there's a new kid on the block here, trying to steal his place. Look, I've just picked up these three colours there. Yeah. And that looks like, they're super bright, aren't they? And just apply them with the sponge, and I can go maybe into that greeny colour, and you can start to make a fabulous background just using those really bright ones. And this is just the start. Don't think this is where we're finishing. This is just the laying down a few initial colours on this thing. But you can see how, and don't worry about picking out all the colour out of your, what they call the little half pan size. They call them half pans. That I was talking to Debbie about this earlier, and there's loads and loads of paint in these half pans. It's a traditional size. So if you use any paints up in this palette, you can absolutely replace them with any other paint that's available, you know, on the market. You don't have to, and in fact, when you start using watercolours, it's likely that you'll not stick to one particular brand. You'll use different ones, and you'll mix and match between them. So can you see how I've already got that kind of tutti frutti kind of, it looks a bit murky, tutti frutti. It looks a bit like fruit salad chews there. And then, but you can also then go in a little bit darker colour if you want to just pick up on your sponge some a little bit more intense colour and pop that in places and start playing with little, you know, again, just a sponge, look, just have a play with it.
So good.
And start, and look at how little you use to get that colour on there, and look at how this background's coming together already, Ben. There's loads of paint on that. I've washed that out of the sponge. I kind of don't like doing it because there's so much in there, and I feel I'm wasting it. But look, now I can pop that little more intense tropical colour through that. So you are just going to basically play. That's what I would say do. And don't worry about getting a paintbrush and thinking I've got to use these like in a, you know, traditional fashion. Yeah. Not at all.
Just grab a Brian.
Just grab a Brian, absolutely. Don't do those dishes. Hey, no, sit down, let them go. Just let it go. And just let them be and play instead. Yeah. Put those dishes down and
step away from the dishes.
Step away. That's it. Nothing to see, ma'am. Nothing to see.
To be fair, it's probably more fun as a sponge to do this than wash the dishes, isn't it?
Than washing the dishes,
You know.
for sure. Definitely in my world, definitely. Yeah. So can you see how now we've got that little neon colour shot through there, and then all those other colours. So now we've got that fabulous, gorgeous, vibrant background going on, and you just keep going as much as you want and building it up.
Yeah.
And if you let that dry, these watercolours, you can actually layer them as well. So I'm going to just leave that there for the minute. We're going to dry that, and then we're going to build on it, because we can ink around that and add different things to it, and you know, transform it. But that's not a bad start with just a little sponge like that, with the a background to ready for stamping, for playing further, for getting your other stuff into the mix. But then also let's do like a more traditional painted background. So say you wanted to set maybe a scene. Say you were going to use maybe your draw the line stamps, and think, right, okay, let's kind of start, you know, playing in that fashion. So what I'm going to do is, what I would say as well, there's a palette, a little colour chart that
that's
comes with
handy.
this. Yeah, but it's really handy, really good, but it's never going to beat a one that you made yourself.
Yeah.
Because they're going to be the true colours. But for quick reference, this is okay, this will do me okay. So there's a one down here, and all you got to do is kind of start counting across, and you can just literally start laying some colour down like that. This one's called Sea Storm, and it's just like a lovely neutral blue. And I'm starting darker at the top like that, so more colour at the top. And then I'm going to come down with less towards the horizon line, like this. So just a big brush, that's the secret of your success there.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to pick up a little bit of greeny colour, like this, and start painting background in like this, and maybe come down to more green here. Can you see I'm just adding a little bit more intense colour to the foreground?
Absolutely.
And if it's looking a little bit kind of too bright, I can easily dull that down by just picking up a little bit of maybe raw umber at the bottom. But I've already got the start of like a banded kind of landscape, but I might want to add something in there, something of interest. So I can use my brush, and I can start pulling out some colour like this in the background. So by using just water and just dragging through like this, can you see how I'm removing colour as I'm going up the card, Ben?
So you're just wetting your brush there, yeah?
Just wetting the brush.
Yeah.
And this is watercolour card. This is important that you're using the watercolour card. And then I can maybe add another one just down here.
What brushes are you using out of
I'm
interest?
using the Royal and Langnickel brushes. Yeah. You know I'm not going to resist doing that, don't you? You're just like, yeah.
No, just letting everyone know, Sheena, people need to know, what you're using.
Well, absolutely, that's right. And yeah, absolutely. And you have to say it like that. So can you see how we've got a really nice kind of cool landscape going on? And then if you want, you can actually, a round brush is better for your clouds. If you just put some circles like this, little circles,
little circles,
circular things like that, and vary them in size. And then you can just blot with your paper, and then you've got your landscape starting to form like this, and just overlap them and just have a play with them.
Yeah.
And where you've got one cloud kind of overlapping the other one, you get like a negative effect.
Yeah.
And this is just really just starting to play with not much, agenda or anything going on at the minute. But then we can add some little flowers in that little field. Just use a little bit of your sponge, and then you can always just add a little bit of a touch of like this little effect.
Yeah.
Just a hint of colour in the distance, so that could be like little flowers growing there. And then if you want to darken the foreground, you can just go in again and do that. So we'll pick up some of that green, and I'm going to pick up a little bit of this, and then get really quite intense in the foreground. So
literally, no matter where you are as far as your skills as a watercolourist, this palette has got to be the go-to, isn't it?
It absolutely is, Ben. It's a great palette. It's really good quality. When Leanne told me about this palette, I asked her about how the light fast rating was on it, because the thing is a lot of the products we use, and we've got products on the show, are dye based, and they're fab. Dye based is lovely for cards and something that's going to go in a book, like a scrapbook, or a card that's like a temporary thing.
Yeah.
But if you want to create something that is more permanent or put it on the wall, and maybe you want to start selling things that you've created, you really don't want that colour disappearing, do you? Because
No.
you know, but that is what happens with dye-based products. And it's nothing to do with the brand. It's not, oh, Crafters Companion dye-based products will fade. It's anybody's dye-based products would fade in that situation. That's just what happens with dye-based products. They do that. So then can you see how now we've got this really pretty background just created using just the watercolours, that, and then you can, I've got a kind of a mark there, which, well, to get, you see I've got like a watermark there. You could paint another distant kind of mountain going on if you want to kind of try and get that mixed in a little bit. There's always things you can do with this. You can just have a play around and you know, just don't worry about it really. But I like those colours. I like the colour scheme. Have a little play, make some backgrounds like this, and then look at the stamps. We've got stamps on the show that are going to be perfect to utilise the backgrounds you've created, because you are going to want to stamp something on these things and kind of make them, you know, give them some context. So that there is another pretty little, I've kept the purpley pinks, cooler greens to make a tie-in, and then this, I'll let you see this, how this has changed because of watercolours and what they do. Look at how that's moved on that card, because if you leave watercolour, it just moves and wicks and does its own thing. So I'm going to dry these, Ben, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at playing with some stamps maybe on them, and then building them up with some more colour.
Hi to Sarah, who's joined us, saying Sheena has a new Brian wannabe.
I do.
Did we give a name? Have we got a name for the new sponge?
I haven't. Maybe you could supply a name to the newbie. Yeah, because then I don't want to name him, because Brian ain't going to speak to me when I get back.
Well, that's it. New name for the sponge, please, if you would. Sheena, on Saturday, my daughter and I, says Rebecca, went to London in our PJs and dressing gowns to do the Polar Express experience. We even went shopping in Selfridges in our PJs.
Oh, wow.
Very outrageous.
Fantastic. Did you get funny looks, or did people know you were part of the thing? Because they might just thought, you're brave doing that, yeah.
To be fair, I think I've seen people wear weirder things at shopping, but maybe not wearing a dressing gown to Selfridges. I don't think I've ever been in Selfridges, but I would imagine you might get a few strange looks. But good for you. Hi to Jane, who says, I will gladly step away from the dishes. And Cheryl says, good morning, crafty friends. It's still raining here in Seawood, Alaska. Evening, Stephen Nicole. Evening, Ricky Lifford, who says, hello from rainy Michigan. I love both your sweaters, especially yours, Ben. Sheena, you are amazingly talented, like a painting magician. She is the Wizard of Art. We're off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Art. She really is a wizard of a wizard, a wizard of what? Doesn't quite work. And Pat says, question. With this background technique you just completed with the scene, could you do a little draw of the line technique for your grass?
A draw of the line technique? Yeah, you know what? Watercolour's good, but it doesn't move as easily, as readily as your dye-based paints. I'll show you it. I'll show you what I mean. We'll have a try, but it will move to a degree, but it doesn't travel across the card as easily as your watercolour would. I'll get a piece of card and I'll show you what I mean.
You know, with this colour palette as well, I noticed like the little individual colours.
The little pans.
Well, two questions. Do these last a long time? And secondly,
ages.
Can you buy replacements?
Yes, that's the beauty of this palette. It's a standard size little rectangles. So in the art world, right, the arty real world, because these are real artists. These are pigment, light fast watercolour paints. So if you're doing anything and you think you might want to put it in a frame, please don't use your ink pads or any of your dye-based, even the watercolours, you know, the liquid watercolours that we've just brought out, they're dye-based. Don't use them, or for wall art, use these guys. I'm just quickly trying to finish this again. But then what you want to use are these watercolours, because these pigment is light fast, dye-based isn't. Not all pigment is, because you get student quality or colours that don't have a high light fast rating, but these do. So we were talking about the draw the line, weren't we? So
Yes.
let me get a piece of card here, maybe a not so big piece, that one there. So let's find a piece of, that'll do, torn it there, that's torn it. A colour, so usually with Draw the Line we use a darkish colour and we use a round brush. So let me bring this in so you can, the only thing with this palette is it's really hard to get it in shot so you can get it in shot because this bit you can't kind of, it has to come out and there's no room to show the paints in the shot. So yeah, it's always a struggle, but right, so I'm going to look for a dark colour. Let's say we'll use something, and certain colours will travel more than others. So there's this dark one here, this raw umber. What about that sea stone one, that one that we just used? That was a really nice blue. So what I'm doing is I'm wetting this quite a bit with water. Can you see how liquid that is now? And I'm going to take my round brush, and it's really well loaded with paint, and draw the line like you've seen me do, yeah? So we'll draw the line. And then let's draw another line. So that little simple landscape that we normally do. But look how intense those colours are. And let's take that big brush, wet it, still quite a bit of water in it, and then drag it. Can you see? It just doesn't move like see?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See? Yeah, and they're really good watercolours, but they're just not travelling as well as the dye-based paints would. See? They will move, but it's much more difficult. You have to have a lot more water on there to get that starting to move, but you won't get the majority of the colour. It's still stayed, a lot of it in that area. It's still a nice technique though. You can still build on that. You can still work with it. And the beauty of the watercolours is you can easily paint in there. So can you see this is much more intense colour there? So if I wanted that to look like a foreground, I could. If I wanted to paint in the sky here, I can use that little bit of paint there and then come down like this. So now I've got a graduated kind of wash in the sky towards that skyline.
I'm seeing a seaside scene there with a breakwater.
Oh yeah.
That's what I can see.
The other thing you can do is you can use your brush like this and pick up some paint and use it on what they call the blade of the brush.
Right.
And you can just use it on the side like this to give the impression of like tall trees in the background to kind of like, you know, emphasize that that kind of look without, it looks kind of like Snow Queenie to me, like an ice forest or something.
Okay, yeah. Nicola's getting frozen vibes. So.
I'm building a snowman in my head.
Yeah, that was my breakwater now. It doesn't look like a breakwater anymore.
Doesn't now,
no.
does it?
It also could look like some sort of like frozen city.
Yes, it could.
Not necessarily trees, but...
Can you see how if you dry the brush off and then pull it up like that though, now you've got more of a grassy kind of look. So if you dry that brush off, so you've got the hairs on the brushes split a little bit, now, again, this would be great for a beach scene. That could be sand dunes. That would have been fab sand dunes if I hadn't done this bit in the background there. If I hadn't ruined it with those stupid lines, Ben.
What do you like?
What am I like? But you see, what you can do is just still play around with it. And if you're using the right card, you know, they're really forgiving. These paints are so forgiving. You can, you know, just have a play. But yeah, you can see how quickly you can put something together with just the little techniques with just one colour and a brush like that, and have a build it up and play with it a bit more. Yes, are there any more questions, any more requests, anything that anybody wants to say?
There isn't so far. It's actually, it's a little bit quiet at the minute. A lot of people naming the sponge more than anything.
Okay.
Benjamin. When you sent that in, Sarah, I thought I'd done something wrong and you'd actually just typed Benjamin like that, which is my Sunday name, which my mum still terrifies me if my mum calls me by that name.
Yeah, that's it, when you use your full proper name, you know you're in trouble, don't you?
It was even worse when it was Charles Benjamin Joseph Moseby. That was the worst one.
Wow, you've got a few names.
I have. So
Charles?
Good. Benjamin, Joseph. So good, they named me thrice.
Charles.
I sound posh, but I'm not.
Wow.
Who were a missus? Bertie, says Rebecca. Bertie Sponge. Bob, says Julie. We could call the sponge.
I like Bob.
I love watching Sheena, says Carol. I was on the phone supposedly paying attention to them, but I was watching Sheena. Hopefully it wasn't an important phone call. And Adam, says Catbutt, we could call the sponge Adam.
Sponge Adam.
Sponge
Okay.
Adam? Adam Sponge?
Adam Sponge. Don't get it.
No.
But it's fine.
It is
That's
fine.
fine. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all good. I mean, they're all, let's face it, is the sponge.
Yes.
You know, really, you know what I mean? I don't think there's any one more valid than another, is there really?
And it's the most, like, it's the most random topic for this show.
Absolutely.
I thought you guys would be asking questions, but you're more intent on naming sponges, which is fine.
Sponge.
You know, which is
I'll
fine.
name that sponge in one. Right. So we've got these backgrounds here now. So what you can do is we can add more texture to them, or we could stamp on them and then layer them up with some ink as well. I like this the way it's darker at the top, and that's so again, shall we use let's have a look, see what stamps we've got in the show. What about the draw the line?
Draw the line,
stamps,
because we were going to
Nicola?
show those anyway, so let's use those, Sheena.
Let's get the draw the line stamps out.
Good plan.
And let's look at using them in a different fashion. Let me have a look. I'll have a
Just
look.
before you show those stamps then, let
Yes.
me show them. You're going to take a break. I'm going to pop those to the side and I'll show you these stamps. Rory, says Michael Adams, Rory the sponge. I'm in awe of Sheena's technique, says Chris Mitchell. I mean, she's a bit good, isn't she? She's a bit good. James Sponge, I love this. Linda, the name is Sponge. James Sponge. Licensed to
I like it.
make backgrounds. Oh, yes. Seems much easier with the aqua pens,
Yes.
says Stephanie. This is a perfect way to start my Monday, says Jane, watching Sheena. I am going to give the double exposure set a go today. Oh, yeah, double exposure.
Yeah.
That was it last time, wasn't it? Love that set. Thank you, Sheena. It says, Pat, I was curious because the draw the line is still amazing to me. Wow, it is amazing what you just did. And if you are doing the draw the line, these stamps were created for you to be able to add to your draw the line, and there are apparently 4 opportunities left to buy. I guess you could say that these are super duper limited stock. But you know. So you're going to get 4 sets in here. So Relax and Renew. This one I absolutely love. I love the kind of plain stamp. I love the balloon, and then these beautiful scenes here again, giving you that perspective for your draw the line. You've got sentiments in there as well. Your time and Relax and Renew. Then you've got this set here, which is your Into the Forest. So you've got the different trees there. Love the fact that you've got that beautiful little blossom branch there, and you've got Renew, Relax and Refresh. This set is One with Nature. So you've got the stag there, and then you've got the different trees and kind of almost like sort of rushes and reeds that you've got, and the boxing hares. I'd forgotten about those two. I absolutely love that stamp. So super cute, very different.
Yeah, the little boxing heads. They're cute, aren't they?
Yeah. And then you've got this one here, which is your Peaceful Bliss. Did you say this was the scene in Evesham? I think you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Beautiful. Love that with the bench and the little sailboats there. And then, of course, that beautiful scenic stamp there. All will work beautifully on their own. But if you're doing the draw the line technique, then these are going to work absolutely fantastically alongside. Normally £40, $51.80, £24 a day if you're a Platinum member, $32 if you're shopping in the US and you're Platinum. But you would need to be one of the next 4 to buy because they are almost gone. That'll probably just about give Sheena enough time to show a demo with them, and I think they'll probably be disappearing. Which of the sets are you going to use?
I'm using the this one here, the Into the Forest.
Into the Forest.
Yes. Isn't it The Cure who did something like that? Was it The Cure album or something?
Oh, I don't know.
I think it might have been. Anyway, it's in my head. Some random stuff. So I've got this tree here from that, and I could stamp it with ink and play it safe.
Yeah.
But because it's a masterclass, I'm going to try using watercolors because we may as well try it and see what it's like. To be honest, if you used like a repositionable stamping platform, which we have got plenty of, we would be able to definitely be playing it safer than what I'm going to do now. But I just like the idea of trying stuff out with you as well, to see, so you can see what it would be like with just the rocker block.
Yeah.
So what I've got is I've made a darkish greyish browny colour here.
Yeah.
Using some of the blue, so kind of like if you use an ultramarine and a burnt umber kind of colour, which is, we've got Jetty is like burnt umber, it's next to burnt sienna, and then this one here, this sea storm, and there's also ultramarine in there, would make that dark colour for you. So we want this paint quite dry, not too wet, because we want to have it, we want to retain some kind of detail in this tree, yeah? So I'm just painting over like this. Now, it might work, it might not work, but we're going to give it a try.
Okay.
And then what we can do is we can always try mixing it up a little bit by putting a little bit of over-stamping it with some, ink, if it doesn't. So I just thought it would look nice just there, like that. Yes, I'm liking that. Much nicer and softer than an ink would have looked. So what I can do is use my brush just to paint in some little bits like this. So now it becomes more part of the picture. So can you see, by just going over and reinforcing any bits that you have missed, you can then make it look less of a stamp and more of something that you've painted in.
We've got a few questions coming through now.
Okay.
Do you want those whilst you're doing that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not sure I understand this, but maybe you will. Alchie says, when I draw the line and work it out like you do, can I also use lighter colours over it? She says, I hope you understand my question.
Lighter colours won't cover dark colours in watercolour. You never lighten a dark colour on the page because it's transparent, so you'll always see the darker colour.
Yeah.
So you really can't put, once it's on there, it's dark. Yeah, so no, that would be no, you can't really lighten a dark colour.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just be aware of that. But I like that tree on there. I think that looks really pretty with those colours. And then should we put some birds in the sky?
Oh, yes, please.
Let's use this one, which is this one is Relax and Renew.
And maybe a plane.
A plane?
But last time you used this set, I'm sure we had the same conversation. Like, I'll put some birds in, and I was like, can we put the plane in as well? And then you put the plane in, and then we ended up putting the balloon in as well, and we did it all.
Everything.
We had a very busy skyline.
It was like, yeah. What?
Just shove it all in.
Everyone's out at once in this sky. Yeah.
Will you be showing a glycerin background at any point, asks Rebecca.
Glycerin.
Background.
Blend in with the ink with glycerin, sure. Yeah, we can do anything you want. You're sure? Yeah.
Okay.
Just shout out what you want and we're good. Yeah.
Note that one down, then we might do that later on.
So I'm just using some of that dark blue on these birds here, that stormy blue colour.
Yeah.
Rather than, again, the ink, because it's going to look softer and more painterly with these little guys, I'm hoping, like that. Yeah, it looks a bit less static, doesn't it? I've got one mess already all over here. And then you can, again, just paint in little bits. Don't worry if they're broken up a little bit, because I wanted them to look less stark, more, softer. Yeah. If I could have used an ink pad if I wanted them to look more prominent than that. So that's coming together quite nicely. But what I would want to do is come back in the foreground and reinforce some of that foreground colour now. So you could put a little bit more of the purple colour in as well if you want. So it's all about using the brush either wetter or drier. So, and you don't have to use everything in a washy kind of like watercolory wet technique, that diffused watercolour look. You can use it in a stronger fashion like that, because now we've kind of planted the tree into the scene. It was sitting over the top of the grass before, which wasn't right. But now we've put the grass over it, and rightly, so it's behind these larger elements.
You've rooted it.
I've rooted it, absolutely. And then you've got a really, I think that's a really soft,
it's beautiful,
pretty, diffused scene there that's, it's like harmonious, the colours are
And
like,
how crazy to think, out of that, all of that beautiful scene, there's only actually 2 stamps on there, and like the rest
Yes,
of it is all being
exactly.
created with that
I
technique.
love this stamp
Incredible.
set, absolutely, because you'd be making lots and lots of different scenes, and you're going to create the whole perspective thing that's going on with these stamps, and that's important because then it gives it that look like you're looking into the picture.
Yeah.
Instead of it all being on a flat plane, you can clearly see the birds are behind the trees, the grass is in front of the tree, and it creates that as if you're walking into that whole thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was that one. So I'll tidy up.
It's amazing. Look at that 10-minute painting, says Carol. Wow, wow, wow. If you get chance to go back and watch the Craft Vault show from earlier on, you won't be able to get the deals, but you'll be able to watch a point where Sheena created a masterpiece in about 2.5 minutes. I'm not even joking you. Go back and watch. Catherine says, I drew 2 extra spires with the stamp, with the spire, to make it look like my closest small city, Lichfield, whose cathedral has 3 spires.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Lichfield was a city either. I did not know that. I did not know that. No, I didn't know that it was a city. I'm saying generally I did not know that it was a city. It was just a general statement. Good afternoon, all, from Georgia, says Charlotte. Another show to save and try the techniques. Sheena shows us. Thank you, Sheena, you say. Hi to Rebecca, who says, well, if Sheena is the wizard, the sponge can be Harry.
Yeah, absolutely.
Harry
I like
the sponge.
it. Yeah, I like that.
Should we go with Harry then?
Harry.
Harry.
Yes, Harry. That's Harry.
Jane says, hey, Ben, since you missed my joke on Friday, here are 2. Oh, no, so I've got a bit of a funny... If I keep squeaking, it's because I've got a bit of a funny throat. I did this joke on Friday, but I'll do it again. I definitely read it, Jane. Maybe you missed. What does a gingerbread man have on his bed? Cookie sheets. Well, if I didn't do it, I definitely read it. And what did the buffalo say to his kid when he dropped him off at school? Bison. What's the difference between a buffalo and a bison? You can't wash your face in a buffalo.
And a bison. And a bison, I got it.
A bison. Can't wash your face in a buffalo. Bison. Love that makes, Sheena says, nanny to the girls. And Stephanie says, Ben, I wasn't able to watch the first show due to grandparent duty. Oh, thank you, but I caught your performance. Bravo. You are talented, so talented. Thank you. I don't miss the beard and stash, though. You have such a nice face without it. Well, thank you. But you know, Stephanie, we actors sometimes have to grow beards for art, darling. It's the least we can do. Sometimes you do, Nicola. I've just got to do what you just got to do. And like that, we're going to have a break. Just to remind you, if you spent more than 60 today, 10 off is your code, TENOFF. Get you 10 off for 60 spend, only for today, though. It's part of our 12 days of Craftmas. So use that today. It will be something new tomorrow, which we will tell you all about in the first show. But listen, for the meantime, get to the checkouts. Anything else you want to see, anything you want to ask, anything you want to request, please fire those requests in. Don't be shy. Give it a try. We'll be back in 4 for some more.
I like to get up, chill, relax, get a cup of tea, then get myself sorted. And if I'm presenting, write all my notes. If I'm the demonstrator, I'll get my prep out, have another look at it, make sure that everything is the way it needs to be for the show, do the show. Then what I'll do is I'll have something to eat. Then have another look at the sheets again, making sure the next show's all good to go. Then we do that show, tidy. I always like to make sure that the area is nice and tidy, either for myself the next day or whoever's in. Jump in the car, head home. I will quickly unpack what I need to unpack, and then I get on that sofa as quick as I can. As soon as we go live, I love that within our live shows, I always get the butterflies. As soon as we get that countdown in our we're just going live, butterflies kick in, and within about 10-15 seconds, I'm going. Butterflies have gone, and we just enjoy the show. Early riser. Oh, shower in the morning. Tea. Oh, savoury breakfast. Masterclass. My mobile phone. Oh, anything with chicken. Currently, it is The Weekend, Blinding Light, and it has been for about a couple of years, and I still love it. Apart from jumping in the car, chilling on the sofa, watching TV.
Then check my emails, then lay the shows out in the studio, set pack shots up. Then I will get new polls, pick shows, solve any problems that need solving. We deal with teams where we receive marketing suites, we receive boards. We pick samples to send to Hobby Maker. We pick samples to send to QVC. We will take the previous shows out of the studios, set the new shows up. We do floor manage occasionally, not all the time, making sure that the craft expert presenters have everything at hand that they need. Anything that they have during shows, we will run about and get the product for them. Think on a morning when it's really quiet, I can get more done when there's nobody else in the building. Night owl. Morning. Coffee on a morning, tea the rest of the day. Savoury. Normally lunchtime. Craft a lot. Mobile phone. Christine chicken wrap. Barry White. You're my first, my last, my everything. Go home and make the tea.
Welcome back, everybody. Love that make. Sheena says, nanny to the girls. Rhonda says, hello, Sheena, Ben, crew, Team Social, and all my creative, crafty friends from Oak Park, Chicago. Hello. Linda Armstead says, I love the clean-shaven face, Ben. Will you guys shush? Ben, that was a great clip. I loved it, says Carol Garwa-Beard. Thank you. I'm glad you all enjoyed it. That's what it was there to do, provide some entertainment. Question from Stephanie. Sheena, did the winds die down at home?
It did, yes, thankfully, yes, because the whole garden furniture was like, how strong was it to move that? It's crazy. Yeah, died down home, thank you.
So did you have like stuff get blown over the fence
like
and all
big
sorts?
wooden bench that like it takes 2 people to lift, blown over. Crazy. Wow.
Did you get a free trampoline?
Yeah, almost. Yeah, I was hoping, I'm looking for good stuff appearing, but yeah, nothing good. Yeah.
I have 2 things to report that happened in my home. We've got a little light up scene at the front of our house. My light up snowman blew over.
Oh, not Frosty.
Yeah, Frosty blew over.
No.
I picked him back up again. And also at the back of our house, in the backyard, I have my Crocs outside because they're like my bin Crocs when I take stuff to the bin.
Yeah, bin Crocs.
One Croc blew across the garden.
Wow. That's like, wow. Oh, I bet that took some getting over, Ben.
Oh, it did.
The trauma.
Couple of days.
Croc blown across
because
the
then,
garden.
of course, it's wet and I have to go outside, put on one
did you
Croc,
have to hop
across the garden to get the other Croc.
Don't even. Oh, I feel your pain, Ben. That must have been. That was heavy.
So we're going to have a look at the Lino, bold Lino stamps. So we've got Rebecca, later on we'll look at Glycerin backgrounds. Sarah's also asking, can you do a background with the Shimmer watercolors? She says, I haven't tried mine yet as I'm unsure of how to use them without overdoing the shimmer. But as we were talking about in the break, you want the shimmer, don't you?
Yeah, that's the point. You want the bling. If you're getting a shimmer item, that's what you're paying for, really.
Yeah.
You're paying for the max, like turn it up to full volume bling.
Yeah.
That's what you really want from the product.
But we'll have a look at it.
And it has got, it's bling packed. But what can show you, you can use it in a more subtle fashion. We could use the bling over this.
Okay.
I'm getting loads of ideas as we're just listening to these things. We can play.
Okay.
Yeah, we can play with this background and get at the point where we can stamp with the lino cuts. How about that? Does that sound like a plan, Nicola?
I like that idea. Nicola says, let's do it.
All right.
Bold lino stamps are what we're going to use here then. 4-piece collection. These £31.96, £39.80 normal price. Platinum price today £9.18 or £23.88. I'm struggling to remember when we launched these. It was a few months back. But these kind of, what's the word, mimicked lino stamps as to how they were.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. That's where it comes from. You know, like when you carve lino and you make a block, a lino printing block with
I
it.
want to say we did that in art at school. Is
Yes,
that something
you
I would have done?
Yeah, you would have done, yeah. It takes ages to do. And what you get is like the negative image like these do. These are, and you know, when you've got a full-on, full-colour background, if you stamp a detailed line art image with open areas that you would normally colour in, it looks a bit mad because you see all the background through it. It just doesn't look right. What you need are silhouettes of almost silhouettes. I've just put that enough detail, little line work in there, but that will sit on top of a full-on, full-colour, everything going on background.
Yeah. You're getting all 4 sets in there as well. The poppy pods, get a couple of sentiments with each as well. Sorry, with thanks. I mean, use those separately because that'd be a really weird sentiment, wouldn't it? Sorry, with thanks.
With thanks, yeah.
I love this one with the luscious lupins you got
Yes,
there.
I like lupin.
Yeah.
Lupins are fab because there's loads of different good colours with them, and you can stagger the height of lupins. They're a good designer flower with them.
I'm a big fan of the side profile butterfly as well.
'Cause that's usually how you see them flying.
Yeah.
We often see them like full wings out and as a butterfly.
Yeah.
But when they're flying, you rarely see that.
And I feel like we see this kind of butterfly a lot in craft, but not like this, so I'm appreciative of that. This one is your branching out. So
I love that one. That might be my favourite of the lot, you know, because it's so elegant, it's so simple, but it's so usable. You can make some gorgeous cards with that.
And then Blossom and Bird.
Yeah.
Very cute little birdie.
Yeah.
It does what it says in the tin. Love the dandelion clock flower as well that you've got.
Yeah, they're fun, aren't they?
Dream Believe. You've got all of those in there for that price of just £19.18 or $23.88 if you're a Platinum member. Such a hardship, Ben, says Becky. Glad Frosty is okay. I mean, we struggled by. Hello, Ben, Mummy, Sheena, and everyone. I'm watching now, but I'm late because I just got back after walking all of Egypt. Sorry, read it, Ben. Hello, Ben, Mummy, Sheena, and everyone. I'm watching now, but I'm late because I just got back after walking all of Evesham from Nanny's house to my house.
Wow.
Mummy Maria's on oxygen, but I had great fun.
Yeah, I can imagine. That's quite a good hike there.
It's a long way, that, isn't it?
Yeah, that is, yeah.
That's from Willow, obviously. 7 and a little bit.
Little bit.
And Sarah says, yay, I love the bold lino stamps. The dandelion is my favourite, as are the poppy pods. Should we have a look then?
Yes, all right then. So would you like to see the background and then we'll come to the stamps?
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Good idea.
So this is how, so here's the thing. If you're buying water-based colouring products, which I love, you're going to use them to their strengths, play them to their strengths. You saw how little I used of that paint to cover this whole background. I'd have to use a lot of ink out of my ink pads to get that payback of colour, and it would take longer. So that's where then you can layer up. So the next thing you can do, you might say, right, I want to faux bleach that. We can faux bleach it. You could take, so this is, I'm just going to go and do things if that's all right, guys.
Yeah.
And then you can just see how it's going to go. Because this is what I was saying about working with different, you know, with your products and things, and using, creating the backgrounds, and then you've got the point where you can put your stamps on it. So what
are you using there?
I'm using a soft toothbrush.
This is
the best way to bleach out ink. Look at that. It's so accurate.
Why have I never seen you use a toothbrush before?
Well, it's just something I picked up recently. I didn't invent it. I saw somebody else doing it. I'm not going to say I did it, but I thought, well, that is genius. That is such a good thing. I saw it, I think I saw it online somewhere, and I thought, wow, and it works so well. I think it was an arty thing rather than a crafty thing. And
Soft bristles being an important thing.
Yes, because if it's too hard, what you'll do is you'll just be scratching the surface of your card, and rather than just softly, gently kind of agitating the surface of your of the paint to lift it. So, because if you have it too wet, you see, it just runs underneath and you don't get those defined circles. So it's a case of just the smallest amount of water, and then just soft, gentle going across the surface, and you get a much better defined circle like that. Look at how cool
That's so cool.
Isn't that really sharp?
Yeah.
It is such a good way to do it, Ben. So wet your brush, tap it on some paper, take off the excess, and then just gently work over the area that you want. And obviously if you want it light, not as intense, don't just stop sooner. That's it. And then blot it, and then lift up, and then you've got these gorgeous circles going on, which would be a great underwater thing. But then we can layer it further. Shall we layer a bit more?
Absolutely.
Do a bit more stenciling. This is what I would be doing with the background. I wouldn't just stop at that background and I'm done. I would be looking at other things to go on to there. So we've got other stencils here. Let me see. We haven't got. Yeah, we'll try that one. That one would be the last one out, wouldn't it? Come on.
Yeah, man.
Stuck in there. Come on. Ah, bit of tape. But that was me. That looks very much like me. Right. So,
well, as Nicola says, at least admit your own faults, because that doesn't happen.
Absolutely.
And normally everyone blames everyone else.
Yeah, I fessed up, yeah. So we'll pop that there. So I'm going to pop this down and just take that down again. It would be better if I take this down as well. But then I can take my blending tools and same colour palette as what I've used for the background. So kind of warm colours. So I'm using this, what is this one? This is the plum jam, and just to pop a little bit there. So I'm going darker at this side with the plum jam, but not too dark, because with stenciling, it's surprising how little you need to see the pattern. You think you haven't got any colour down there, then you lift up, and then you go, oh, look at that. Who would have knew? Who would have known? So, and then I might come in with a little bit more of an orangey tone, but I don't want it to be like massive stark contrast. I just want a little shadow pattern in there. Hence using the same colour kind of family as I've applied to the background.
Lots of love for the toothbrush technique. Melanie D says, I love this toothbrush and stencil technique. Thank you, Sheena. And Maria says, soft toothbrush technique is genius. It works so well.
Yeah,
I've never seen it before. I feel like
it's new to me as well, and I'm loving it. So
yeah.
Can you see how now we've got this background, kind of much more interesting background, haven't we, that we can then build on a little bit more if we want to add a bit more pattern to that. I mean, you can even use a bit more texture if you want. It's just playtime is honestly what it is. We'll pop that there. And again, stencils and things, great fun. Just have at it and just have a play. And then when we put those bold lino images over that, look at that, that's cool, liking that. So don't use the whole stencil, just use part of it.
Yeah.
And again, same colour family as what we've been using. But look at how much more interesting our background is.
Absolutely.
Simple, isn't it?
Can you just, for Denise as well, just explain the initial background, because she's just joined us and asking whether it's watercolour or ink pad based.
Yeah, it's watercolour.
Yeah.
And it's very similar to what we can do with the blingy paint that we can do now, if you want. So that there is ready to stamp on. I should make another one with the bling, with the sparkle paints for the lady who wanted to see them, and then we'll stamp together. Does that sound like a plan?
Absolutely.
Alrighty, because then we can just dry them both when you're talking about something else, Ben, and then come back and pop the stamps on. So we've got that one ready, but I will darken the edges of that, definitely. Let's get another bit of paper there. So again, watercolour card I'm using.
Yeah.
So we'll use that, and now I'm going to use the moonbeam ones, because they're a little bit more intense colour. And they, you could do this on black card as well. It looks stunning, the moonbeam on black card.
We've got black card on the show, actually, our premium black paper card. Yeah, paper pad. Buy two, get one free.
You see, this is the thing. Before a background show, right, you think, where it's not what can I show to fill this time, it's what we're going to leave out. Where will I stop? What do I start with? Because it's massive, the things you can do. There's so much. We'll never fit it all in the show, but we'll try and fit as much as we can in the show. So what I've done is I've wet those, Ben. So I've wet that background. And I can then take, let's take the sponge again. Let's take Harry here. And we can start sponging some colour on there. So there's a lot of warm colours in here again. More warm than cool in that. Actually, the other set's got more cool colours in. So I fear we're going to end up with a warmer background again, but we'll try and get a bit of green and stuff into this as well. Yeah. So I'm just going to pick that up, and it's this exactly. So this is what we did. Who was just asking about the background there? Denise. Right. So Denise, this is what we did with the watercolour. Same thing to get the background created for the watercolour. Only this time we're using watercolour with the bling in it, the bling factor. Yeah. And just inking, splodging like this, not inking, even just splodging the colour on. And just really using the sponge, letting the sponge do most of the work. Now, it's looking a bit patchy and things at the minute, but I'm not worried about that because what we can do is we can ink over the top of that as well. Pop that in there, and I might even pop a bit of that green in. I may regret it. It's going to go a little bit more kind of murky. Can you see? Because where green and brown meet, green and red, sorry, you're going to get a browny colour. Yeah. But that's okay. I think we might like the metallic-y look. It's going to go a bit more muted and metallic like that. Could you also use mixed media stamps in addition to the stencils to add more texture, asks Jane? Yeah, honestly, just use anything you want. This is the fun of it. You're just using anything. I've really gone murky here. I've just put on all kinds, and I'm thinking now, how are we going to retrieve this? Because this is looking a bit like a protest. But you know what? It's going to look fun. It's a cry for help, this is. Yeah. But don't worry about it, because I'm not worried, because I think we can make that look cool. Right? At the minute, it's not looking cool, but we can
trust the Wizard of Art.
What we're going to do is we're going to dry that, Ben. Then I'm going to go over with some ink, okay? Or watercolour. So let me dry this and see what we've got. Okay. Sheena's got so much talent, says Jean F. She has. Sheena, the background you made and using now looks like the sky this morning when we were headed out to my son's house. This was the previous one, with some blue-grey too before the stencil. Love the technique, says Nanny to the girls. And Sarah says, I got these stencils the last time Sheena used them for that toothbrush technique. They are amazing. So many different designs. Genius at work, says Cat Butt. Thank you, Sheena. And Mary Beth says, that background is so awesome. I would hate to stamp onto it. Lots of love coming through. Any more requests, fire them in. We've got another hour to go. So it's your show, Masterclass. You need to be asking those questions, please, because if I don't get loads of questions, I get dragged into the office afterwards and they go, why didn't you get any questions? I'm like, I tried, but they didn't ask me any. And like, well, try harder next time. I'm on a final warning for questions. I need at least another 4 or 5 in this hour. So if you can help me out, that would be great. I'm just sort of, sick of getting thrown into the office. Even if you know the answer, someone else might not. So just fire those questions in, please. Anything at all. Even if you think it's the simplest thing in the world. So this is exciting. You're looking at white card, the back of the card being dried. However, this is necessary. Somebody, they always get asked, why do you dry the back of the card? It's because when you're drying the front sides, there's only part of it drying. So it's drying in a different way, which is going to make it curl more. So by flipping it over and drying both sides, it's more likely to lie flat when you're done, and you're hitting it from both sides, getting the core of the card dry quicker. So let me see what we've got. So here's what we've got with this. I like them. All the colours are coming out. Look. Yes. I actually like it more than I thought I was going to once it's dry. It looks quite cool.
That's really cool.
Isn't it? Yes. But I think it needs a little bit of an underlying kind of colour in there. And I can't decide what colour it's going to be. I'm going to trim it down a little bit. And then, but this is all, I know it just look like I know what I'm doing here, because I don't. I'm doing what I would do if I was crafting. I'm going with it. It's more like organic crafting, because when you're making backgrounds and things.
Doing your thing where you kind of just go on a bit of a journey and see where it takes you.
Absolutely, because that is what you'll be doing, is reacting. Once you get water and blending and things like that into the mix, it's going to be different every time. So you're going to have to look and go, okay, so how am I going to treat this one? Where am I going to go with this one? Now, you can see I've got that warm goldy tone through there. Look when you hit that, yeah?
Yes.
I've got this gorgeous copper here. Look at the copper. I've got blue there. So now I want to choose a background colour or a couple of background colours. I don't want to use my opaque, and I'll tell you why. Opaque will cling to the mica, and I don't want to cover that up. I do need a water reactive, couple of water reactives, just to be more definite on the colours that are in the background. So I'm picking a couple, 2 or 3 out here, Ben, and we'll give it a go, see what we've got. So we've got these colours here, so let me see what we can do. So let's see what lemon tonic could look over like this. All I'm doing is I'm being more definite and colouring in that white. I don't really love the white card showing through. Does that make sense? So by putting this on top, it won't cover your, like I say, the mica, because it's water based and it's transparent, it's translucent. So it will actually sit on the card that is exposed underneath and in between the mica areas. So now I've got that really more definite gold. Look at that, how that shines up now. It looks much more like I meant it. And I think I'm going to go a little bit, let's go with this bluey colour, put that in there. I haven't created a background like this before. I'm having fun. You've lost me now. I'm just playing. This looks completely different to anything I've created, because it's, you know when you say about happy accidents and do something, if you do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got, won't you?
Yeah, exactly right.
So you can play safe, and you can do that, and you can go, right, stick to all the warm colours and just do it like this and then do that, and you're going to be safe. You're going to know exactly what you've got. But now and again, it's worth just going with something that's a little bit quirkier.
Taking yourself out of that comfort zone.
Absolutely, and seeing what comes of it. And I'm really liking what's happening here.
Absolutely.
Because what we're getting is we're filling in those little, it looks mineral-like, it looks otherworldly. It's very different to anything I've created before, and I'm liking that a lot.
It looks like rare quartz, says Stephanie Theodos. Very pretty.
Isn't it pretty? I'm liking it a lot, I've got to say. I'm going to go with a little bit of orange in the middle, because can you see what I'm doing is I'm emphasising the colour that's sitting on the top. You see, we've pulled out the bluey tone there. We've really souped up that gold there.
Looks so good when you just flip it and the light catches the shimmer.
It's like a whole special effect event going on a card here. So now, oh wow, that's really pulling out that copper, and it's simplifying it. So
can you just recap for Pat? She said now the questions are coming. What did Sheena do to make the paper have that shine, says Pat?
Oh, these are the watercolors, those Shimmer watercolors. They're a fabulous, fabulous product. You know, you can do amazing things, but you have to have the quality to start with. If you haven't got the quality in the product you're trying to play with, you're never going to get that wow effect, that wow result. So we've got the wow product. Now you're going to start playing like I have and come up with a different look completely than you may have, like I've seen before. I haven't created anything, a background that looks as
that's amazing
as that. Then it's like, if you look at that all day, depending on how you look at it, you're getting a different effect with each one. Now that is a perfect background to put those bold lino cut stamps over. So there's 2 backgrounds. I will be doing this again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure, because I think it looks really cool. And that's with conflicting colours that normally wouldn't work together. Yeah. That normally, if it was a paint, you would get mud. The reason you haven't got mud is because Leanne has put different coloured solids in this paint. So the solid that's in this paint has congregated and it's all gone together in that flame-like flash of red, orange, copper there. Hope you're getting that, yeah? The solids in this area are yellow, acid yellowy gold shiny things. The things in this bit is like an interference blue to turquoisey kind of colour. So the solids have separated and made that work. That's why that works. And it wouldn't work with just a regular watercolour with all those colours. You would get mud, but because it's them, I think that's super cool. I'm liking that. See, this is where just playing.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't lose the fun of it playing, I don't think. You know, I know I'm standing here and it's supposed to be like for you, but I'm having a lovely time.
Well,
So.
Beautiful, says Linda. Steffi says, I would probably stop there. It's beautiful. Wendy says, I'm really new to card making and I'm having lots and lots of happy accidents, mostly not what I'd intended, but they turned out to be unique creations. That's where like half the fun is, I think, isn't it, really?
Absolutely. Go with it.
I'm so glad I asked about this technique. It looks amazing, says Sarah. Love the lemon tonic on there. It brightens it up. And Sarah Muir says, I love that technique using the sponge. It's great with bubble wrap as well to get a different effect. A few quick questions. Loads of love coming through for this. Questions. Catherine Gorton says, what is the square root of 3,654? 60.448. Is it okay? I looked it up. Is it okay, says Little Bear, to put coloured backgrounds through the Junior or other die cutting machines?
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely. Just make sure they're dry, so you don't want paint sticking everywhere. To be honest, water-based paints like this wouldn't harm it anyway. If you're using acrylic paints, then definitely for sure make sure they're dry. But yeah, fabulous.
Have you ever, says Marshall, done draw the line with the shimmer paints?
No, and I don't think they'd work because there's more bling, heavy, right. So for draw the line to work, you need a liquid rather than a solid. Solids will just sit on the card and they'll not wick and move across the surface. So in the regular watercolors, like these ones here, are pigment. So pigment is like a solid. It's a very, very fine ground, even though you can't see it, and so they're heavier, so they don't move across like a dye. A dye's all liquid. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Well, when you move on to these guys here, this is even more heavy little bits in it. It's like you're going from ball sand to, you know, fine icing sugar to caster sugar to kind of the stuff you put in your coffee, you know, the crystals.
Yeah.
With it's in here. It's less likely to move across the card again. They'll sit more where they are. And you also need more of an intense colour payoff to get that effect as well, if that makes sense. So what I'm going to do, Ben, I think that'll look really cool across that background like this. And I think we'll do a bit of embossing on that, shall we?
Okay. The questions are flying in there. Lois says, was that a kitchen sponge you used or a sea sponge?
A kitchen sponge or a...
Sea sponge.
Sea sponge. Oh, yeah, sea sponges work brilliantly.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, because the thing is, it's like artist sponge, like some people don't want to use them because I'm back in the thing there. Yeah, I was going over there.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. Get more stuff. But some people don't want to necessarily use them, which is why I use the kitchen sponges and make them look. I'm trying to emulate what a sea sponge would be like, the more regular, because you've got a block of synthetic dense sponge like that. So what you do is you cut it up and you pull bits out, so it looks more like a natural growing sponge. That's the beauty of them, is they're very irregular. So what I'm doing is I'm gonna, you know what, I was going to use the I'm getting all my stuff together here. This is something I wasn't planning on doing, so I'm going to use an anti-static bag over this.
Okay.
And I was going to use the stamping platform, but I'm not. So if this is not a perfect stamped image, forgive me. But I just want to get on and show you more stuff.
Okay.
All right. So I'm going to get some glycerin ready as well here, and there's a reason for that. So I want to know what colour I'm going to put on here, and I think a metallic-y kind of coppery colour might look really cool. Gold would look good as well, but metallic copper, let's try that on there. I need my glycerin, which I just had there. I'm going to put a little bit out, and I'm going to tell you why I'm doing that as well quite quickly. And we are going to get a fine brush. Right, I think I'm about ready now, Ben.
Okay.
So we'll ink this up with, still not quite ready. Okay, and I'll tell you what, I'll use one of these opaque ink pads. That'll do. That'll work nicely. Let's use, make your mind up,
Decisions, Douglas.
Let's use that. Let's use this one. Any of them will do, because I'm going to cover it over with embossing powder anyway. So I'm going to ink this up as well as I can, because I'm only going to get one shot at this. Okay? And I'm going to pop that maybe about there.
When you are stamping on these backgrounds, Zoe's just asked, for example, if you're stamping trees, what ink pads are best? She said, I was trying dark, closer trees and light background trees, but the light colour showed through the black.
The light colour. Let me come back to that and I can concentrate a bit more. What I'm doing here is I'm putting on a little bit of glycerin or to extend the stem of this little guy here. And you'll see why, so that when you, because it would just be hovering before that, right? But glycerin is a great way to make it look like it's all one length, see? So all you do is you just paint it on with your glycerin. I should have used a bit more anti-static, but I'm not really worried if that just melts onto there because it'll just give it a bit more bling. But that's why I use that glycerin there. So I'm going to heat that one. And that's also a great tip if you've missed any bits out.
Yeah.
You can just use your paint it with your glycerin, which will then hold your embossing powder, and you're good to go.
My phone is going to explode from all the Sheena shows, says Stephanie. And Mama X says, I can just sit and watch Sheena, just paint on paper for hours. Would look good for doing on the accent wall in a bathroom. Would. And thumbs up to that background, says Maria. What a stunner.
Isn't that pretty?
That's amazing. Look at that.
So should we do, so what I'm going to do now is going to do another couple of those. So I might put a little bit more anti-static on there. I think I might have one of those ones that nothing comes out. It's like, it's got the stuff in it, but the thing is, it's like it's cellophane or something. Nothing.
What's that, the bag?
Yes.
Oh.
But never mind, I'll get it. So I'm just, that one's coming off the page, so I can literally just pop my stuff on there like that and heat it. So that's a quick one. But can you see how I've chosen the colour to kind of work with the background we've got? The background looks warm, metallic-y, bit corroded. There's colour there, but it looks kind of as if it's, you know, as if it's oxidised a bit. It's not pretty and clean, but the colour's there. So that's why I wanted a not shiny, bright embossing powder as well, just to go with it.
Blooming work of art, this. Get a frame and stick it on the wall, Sheena. Sarah says, I always seem to have trouble with embossing. Even when I use an anti-static bag, the powder still seems to get on the card.
Okay, well...
Is that just a case of
being
more thorough with the bag?
Yeah, just use the bag, use the anti-static bag. I'm going to take that little thing there and just going to extend this again. Just that little stem, and you can play around with it. You can either emboss it and then extend it, or do it now. Which is what I've just done there. So pop that all together just for speed. It doesn't matter if you melt it and then join it up after you've done in the first bit, if you feel more confident doing it that way. It's gone a little bit wobbly there, so I could put a little bit there, but I'm going to catch the powder, which means I'll have to put a little bit of powder on there again. But can you see how it's only going to stick when you heat it? So you can, you know, take a little bit away as well. And then we'll heat that up.
So many lovely comments coming through. Trish says, I just love that background, Sheena. It would look fabulous with the Bohemian collection. Brilliant for a background with Bella Luna or the Cosmic collection, says Catherine Gorton.
Absolutely.
And Tracy T says, Sheena is so talented. Great hosting as usual, Ben. Thank you. Do you miss your facial hair, looking younger? I miss twiddling with it. But I like looking younger. Back to my...
Well, it was worth it for that performance. I have to say, I was just a bit impressed. I knew you could sing and you were good anyway, but that was pretty good, Ben, I've got to say.
Oh, thank you. Love a bit of character acting, you know, get into the parts.
Yeah, it's good fun, isn't it, as well?
Still waiting for the call from Andrew Lloyd Webber, but, you know, maybe tonight.
I'm sure it's just a matter of time. He just hasn't seen it yet.
That's probably what it is.
That's all it is.
That's probably what it is.
Yeah.
If I'm not here tomorrow, you know, he snapped me up for a remake of Oliver.
Yeah. Right.
If you are in the local area, though, do come and see me in Panto in Darlington from the 3rd to the 5th of January. At the Darlington Community Theatre, as I star as the Duchess in Alice in Wonderland.
There you are.
Tickets still available.
Okay, so that there now, I just love that background. That looks so cool. That makes me happy. I haven't trimmed my card like perfectly, but it gives it, I would definitely use, that's where the black card comes in as well. Definitely pop it against the black card.
Look how that, when you like wiggle it, how the light catches it, it just, there. That is so good. Incredible.
It's cool, isn't it? There you go. So then another one. Right, so any requests? What were we going to, there was a request, wasn't there? There was the one coming up, the glycerin background.
Glycerin background, and then there was Zoe's question, which, where is it now? When stamping on backgrounds, for example, trees, what ink pads are best to use? I was trying dark, closer trees and light background trees, but the light colour showed through the black. I don't know if I understand that.
Right, okay, here's, right. What I'm gonna start that one. Right, I'm not quite sure, 100%, but I think I know where you're going.
We could do the glycerin background first and then come back to that
Yes,
to get
and then
some
we'll
more
come back to
information,
that, but I
maybe.
think I know what you're saying, and I think I can tell you, and I think I've got what you want to know.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll come back. So let's do the glycerin type background. I'm running out of space. I've got so much mess here.
I love it. Look at the front of the desk there. Just absolutely covered in stuff.
Everywhere.
Did Sheena have a good time? Yeah, look at the mess she made.
Yeah, well, I haven't got time to tidy up. It's like,
No.
Right, okay, the glycerin background. All right, so when you say glycerin background, the only reason I use glycerin is to make blending inks easier. All right, so is that the one you're thinking of, just using the glycerin background? Is that it?
The question was... It was how? Yeah, I think it was literally that. How do you make a background using glycerin? I can't find. There you go. Can you show a glycerin background? It says from Rebecca.
Glycerin background. Right. So the thing is, let me get some colours together. Let's do a pinky, a different colour background. We've gone warm with the other ones. Let's use these ones. Maybe even a bit of that, which will look weird, or maybe that instead. Right. Let's do them. Let me get some blending tools ready, because I need to keep some. These are all orangey colours. So the reason I use glycerin is just to make the blending process easier.
Right.
There isn't a background that just uses glycerin. Glycerin is always used with an ink to just dilute it a little bit and to make it move in a more agreeable fashion across the card.
Yeah.
Right? So what I'll do is I'll take some glycerin here and pop a little bit out like this, just tiny little bits, like pea size, a few bits of glycerin there.
Yeah.
And I've got some colours here. So I've got damson wine, I've got plum jam, crushed velvet, and ocean blue. So ocean blue is the lightest in there, and I'm going to start with that. So when I'm blending with the ocean blue, you can see how it can see how it's grabbing a little bit. It's taking a while to blend. So what I can do is I can take that like that, and I can put some glycerin on it now like that, and then blend it.
Ah, look at that.
And it makes it go further.
Yeah.
And makes it just easier to go across the surface. That makes sense. That's why I would use the glycerin, okay?
So it extends the movement of it, doesn't it?
It extends the movement, yeah. And it's water-based as well, so that's all good. And I'm just going to continue putting some colour in places here, and then we'll get some other colour on there. But yeah, that's really it. Is all of the reason I would use the glycerin is just simply that, to make the blending easier. Now, this is not looking pretty in any way, shape or form, because it doesn't have to, because what I'm going to do is I'm putting colour over the whole thing. And this is just the first layer, so I'm not worrying about it being a bit patchy there, because there is going to be more colour going on here to fill in those areas. Now that feels a little bit dry there, so I definitely want to take some of that out and put a bit of glycerin on that. It just kind of like dilutes, it just makes it easier to blend. That's basically it. So can you see how much further that's going now? How I've got that much more over the card than the other one.
Yeah. Loving all the mess, says Jane. That is so me. And Sarah just saying, stunning, I love it. And the glycerin again, I know because someone will ask, it's just, we can pick this up from anywhere, can't we? It's not like a specific type of glycerin, is it?
Just pick it up from, you can get it online, you can get it at your local pharmacy. Even in the food section, the vegetable glycerin in tiny little bottles, you can get it there as well.
Yeah.
So it's really, it's definitely easy to get in the UK for sure. So, and I'm sure if you look online, you'll get it in the US as well.
Can you use it with aqua markers, asks Jane?
Aqua markers, yes, absolutely. That's what I actually use the glycerin to make aqua markers able to blend across the surface and blend like a water reactive ink.
Yeah.
It's such a thin ink that it's not meant to, but if you use glycerin, it thickens it up.
Yeah.
And it makes it, it slows the drying time down, retards the drying time, so that it'll move across the surface, because if it doesn't move across the surface, it's just gone straight into the core of the card, and you can't do anything with it. What you've got is what you've got, yeah?
Can you emboss with glycerin, says Rhonda? Did I miss that part?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of course, we can use the stencil. You can emboss through your stencil with your glycerin using one of your foam applicators.
Yeah.
Take the stencil away and then put your embossing powder on, and you've got a fabulous technique like that.
And you've kind of answered this, Stephanie. There's loads of questions now. If you're using glycerin, can you continue with stencils and the like, says Stephanie?
Yeah, for sure. That's what we'll do. We'll do something with this. We'll do this background with that.
Everyone, you've saved me, by the way, with all these questions. I'm not getting fired in the morning now, which is great. Can you use the toothbrush technique with the glycerin background, says Denise?
Yes, let's do it all. Yeah, I'm going to have a lock in here. You're not going to let us go home, are you?
Hello, it's too many questions, everyone. Too many questions.
Took a while to get you started. Now, it's like, what?
Very slow to start, and now all of a sudden, this is what it's about, everybody. Thank you very much for all these questions. I feel like I'm bombarding Sheena over there.
Right, so I've got loads of ink on this back. I mean, loads of ink there. And that's good enough. That's all I need now. Phew. I need to lie down.
Yeah.
So now let's do some of those things. Let's do this. First of all, the faux bleaching with the stencil. So let's put them over there. Put these away a minute and get a stencil out. Shall we do this? But the circles were out already, so we might as well just do some more of them. They look pretty good. Right, so we'll pop them on there, like that. We've got the toothbrush, and I'll show you what I'm doing. I'm literally taking the brush, wetting it, and then blotting it on the paper.
Soft bristled though, isn't it, for anyone who's come late?
Absolutely. And then now some inks will stain more than others, and certain paints as well. So it's just certain pigments and paints or dyes will stain the card more than others. So you'll get a lighter effect with some than you will with others. But this is still lifting this up nicely. Can you see? So just once you see that it's starting to not do anything, don't scrub the surface of your card away. You're not removing the top layer of your card. You're just literally just encouraging the paint to lift where you want it to lift. So can you see? Just keep checking what you've got.
Oh, wow.
But that's working very nicely, isn't it?
It is.
And then we'll move to a different spot. And again, just keep the brush flat and just work it like that. And you're going to, if you have too much water on, you're going to not get nice defined circles. The water will just run underneath those, the mylar, and it'll be all fuzzy and not very nice. So you've got to just take your time and just build it up nicely like that. And that's, so yes, so that's the first question. Can you, for bleach, can you, yes, you can with the glycerin. Did we have other ones? What were the other questions that were people asking?
Well, I think you kind of like tackled killed two birds with one stone here, because we had the question about the toothbrush and then people asking whether or not you could still use the stencils having done a glycerin background, which you can.
Absolutely, because then you can stencil over and go with a bit more intense colour over the top as well.
And then, obviously questions about embossing with the glycerin as well. But
we can do that as well. Let me wipe this up.
Sarah just said, so cool with the toothbrush. I never thought of doing that. I've never seen it before ever, Sarah, so I'm kind of like marvelling at this as much as you guys are at home. It's such a cool technique, isn't it? Obviously, if you are going to do it, maybe you go and buy a new toothbrush. Don't use the one that you're brushing your teeth with tonight.
No, yeah.
You know, that might be a bit weird.
Or pinch one of the families. Yeah. Not thank you for it. Right, stencil.
Do you start with a new toothbrush, says Stephanie? Yes, absolutely, and soft bristled.
Yes, definitely. It's got to be soft bristle.
Because like you said earlier, if you go for like your hard bristles, you're potentially going to rough up the paper,
just
right?
score the card and scratch the card if it's not the soft one. So you definitely want the soft one. I've just dropped all the stencils on the floor. I've just got this one again, just because it's a good one to use and it's here. So I just need to get that off there. So again, we can go over that and then we'll do a little bit of stenciling. All right, hang on. Bear with, I know what I'm doing, seriously. I know exactly what I'm doing. Not really, right, okay, so we'll pop that there.
Yeah.
Let's do a little bit of a texture. And then we will we'll stencil with glycerin. And then we're covering a lot of stuff, aren't we? Yeah. We are, yeah, right.
Only half an hour left as well.
Wow, where did that go?
It's flown over, isn't it, this show?
Hasn't it?
Just to say as well, before I forget, you are back in now before Christmas, aren't you?
I am. I'm back on the 17th, yes.
Which is next Wednesday.
Cool.
No, next Tuesday. Next Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Julie says, could you use an electric toothbrush?
Probably not, no.
No.
You'll be like through to the back of the card before you know it, yeah.
Yeah. You'd probably end up with a nice clean card, wouldn't you? You know.
You would, yeah. You don't need any whitener on it or anything like that either.
Mint-scented artwork, says Lisa P. Yeah, make sure you definitely get a new brush.
Absolutely. So see how we've got that background going on there now with all that texture and layering. So what I definitely need to do if I'm going to stencil with put some embossing powder on that is I need to dry this thoroughly.
Yeah.
And I need to go over it with the anti-static pad. Yeah. Because they will just cling everywhere on that background if I don't do that. Okay. So I can do this, Ben, if you can, got anything to say in the meantime?
Yeah, we'll give you a break to check out in just a second. Maria says, I have a question.
Oh, no. Oh. What? Why did you not do the dishes when we voted? What? No. What? I'm scared now.
Did the Christmas fairies pinch all my giant Watsits, or was it perhaps you, Sheena Douglas?
I knew it would be something. I knew. I had a feeling. I felt the hackles come up on the back of my neck and the cold chill. Yeah. It was me what ate all the giant Watsits.
It's a fair cop, Gov.
It's a fair cop. I did eat all the giant Watsits.
Yeah. Show us your fingers, they'll be orange, we'll know. Did you eat all the Watsits, did you?
I did eat all the giant Watsits, yeah.
I meant,
well, they're a bit moreish, aren't they?
They are.
And they just dissolve to nothing, so they're kind of like you don't even know you've eaten them.
It's not my first choice of crisp, but if I was to start a bag of Watsits, yeah, I'd definitely finish it because they're very moreish, aren't they? Yeah,
they are. I like them there. I'm not a mega crisp person. No. But I do like it, especially the giant Watsits, because, yeah, you've got to, there's less exercise putting the little ones in your mouth. You know, one giant one, you've got to put your hand to mouth about 5 times with the little ones.
So Maria, yes, she did.
It was me. Yeah. So obviously she's not enjoying that walk. She's back now and then she's like thinking, right, now I want me Watsits. So she's kind of like...
That's the only thing that kept her going on that walk.
What? Scared to go back now, Ben. So we've got the background going. Yeah. And we're going to stencil with glycerin, did we not say?
Yeah, we did.
That? Right, so we need an anti-static bag. This is essential, right? This is still, look at that. Is anything coming out of there?
Doesn't look like it.
I'm hoping there is, because if there isn't, we're just going to have a splodgy mess, but let's hope there is. Right,
it's become very futuristic, this background.
It does look very, like, Tronish, doesn't it?
Tron, yeah.
Tron, yeah. Mm. So, right, what I'm thinking is we could pop a little... we could do the roses maybe there. Let's fade out the roses there.
Ouch is just asking, is all the card you're using watercolour card?
It is all watercolour card, yes. So I'm going to take my glycerin, now I find it. It's lying here somewhere, if you can find it. It's like, again, pantomime. It's behind you, there it is.
No, it isn't.
And I'm
yes,
going to use
it
one of
is.
these little egg thing, doodah things.
An egg doodah thing.
Yeah,
Yep.
and it doesn't matter if it's got any ink on it because we're going to cover it up anyway. I need to get my embossing powder out to decide what colour I'm going to do. And I could do the copper again, and then I'm going to put a gold leaf on there
Okay.
with the bold lino cut.
Why not?
I'm thinking
Yeah.
it might, why not? Yeah. Who knows? It might just work. Let me get a little bit of tape on that just to make that, at least keep the stencil steady, even if my card isn't.
What is a what's it? Asks Michelle. It's like a cheesy puff.
Yeah, a bit like a Cheeto-y type thing.
Yeah. I would say. I would say.
Oh. Or
I
say.
would say it's slightly softer than a Cheeto.
Yeah.
Cheetos are a little bit more.
Yeah,
crunchy.
Cheeto's got more crunch, haven't they?
Yeah. What's it's just dissolve in your mouth.
Yeah.
It's gesticular. I like that. It's a cheese air puff.
Yes, it's like cheese and air. That's it, yeah. Not much substance to it.
No, but very cheesy.
Very cheesy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got that there. I've got this here. I've got that ready. I've got a bit of paper here ready. I've got my little dabber. I'm going to pick this up like that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to start pouncing through those apertures. And I can put quite a bit of this on, but you don't want it running. Again, you don't want anything running underneath the stencil, do you not?
Is there anything, you might have said, but I might have zoned out. Is there any particular reason why you're using the blending sponge to do this?
It's just a nicer density for this.
Okay.
I find this is the best one for this pen.
Yeah.
It's strange. It's like we've got what preferences, haven't we? It's weird. Like people say, which one do you like best? I like different ones for different things.
Yeah.
You know, they are different. So yeah, it's much quicker than if you use your stamping ink, you know,
Yes.
your embossing ink pad, because you've got to keep picking it up and applying it, then adding a bit more, and it takes a long time to transfer the ink from the pad to the applicator to the background. Here you're just literally putting the liquid straight to the applicator and then going with that. Now I'm hoping, fingers crossed, this works. Find me a bit of card. Get me embossing powder again.
This is going to be awesome. Ooh. Ah!
There you go. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
And what you can do is I've got a little bit, I wanted to stagger that a little bit more than I did,
Yeah.
but that's all right. We'll work with it. We'll do something. Pop that in there. We'll heat that. It should look quite pretty.
On the question of what's it, Maria says it's an empty bag in this house.
Oh, she's not bitter, is she? Oh,
You're in trouble.
oh yeah. Whoa, I might take a little bit of a longer drive home than I was going to.
But I want to take the scenic route.
Yeah,
see.
you know, that 4 hours might be it. Yeah,
Stay here till next week.
I think I will.
Probably
I
better.
think I might. I would have been fine if it wasn't for the What's-Its.
Or if you stop on the way back, maybe buy
I
a
could
bigger
buy you
bag.
some What's-Its, you
Yeah,
know what?
you know.
I think that'll be the easiest thing to do, Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that would be, of course, Nicola's got it.
Couple of
one
bags.
for me, one for Maria.
That's it.
And a 2 for Willow. Then I've
Yeah.
got everything covered.
There you see.
Everybody's happy.
Yeah.
Whew. What?
Oh dear.
Oh, I like that. I love that copper with the purple.
Beautiful.
Look at
Oh
that.
my word.
Is that pretty?
Yes.
And then you know what I would put there? I would put that leaf, you know, that bold florals lino leaf
Oh, yeah.
one. That would look really nice there. I'm underneath the desk again, everybody. Here we go. That would look really nice.
Is that from the branching out set?
What are we?
Which
Branching
one's
out.
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would just pop that over there. Now, I'm likely not going to get a good impression with one hit with this. I would definitely want to put my, you know, on my stamping platform
Yeah.
to make sure I've got that there. Because I think that just coming across there like this, just like that, but that's going to be bright gold. Oh. I'm a bit scared to do this with this because it isn't going to be as opaque as I want it to be. So you'll have to imagine it better than it's going to look.
Okay.
All right?
You're getting lots of wow comments in the chat. Just to say as well, just while Sheena's getting ready, if you've not used that code yet today, 10 off is our 12 days of Craftmas treat today. Spend 60, get 10 off with the code 10OFF. TENOFF. And that applies across the shows and across the website, I believe. Check the T's and C's, but just whack it in if you spend over 60 to get that extra discount. Mary Pat says, I missed what the firmness of the toothbrush is on that fun technique. Soft. Soft brush. Manual, not electric.
Yes. Right, so I've used quite a bit of ink on this, on a quite a juicy ink pad, and I'm going to just go for it now and hope I've got enough of an impression there to hold the powder. I don't know if I have, but...
There's only one way to find out.
Exactly.
This background's blowing my mind, says Sarah Muir. Amazing. I shall give this a try. Stunning, says Stephanie. Lois says beautiful. I certainly learned a lot today. Thank you, Sheena.
Welcome. That is my reason for being here.
Your raison d'etre.
Raison d'etre. Me MO. It's me MO.
Me MO.
Yeah. Right, so actually that's stamped all right. I like to
looks
build
all
up
right,
the
yeah.
tension a bit, you know. Bit of drama. So now this is going to be bright gold, which is going to make that the feature. Coming across over that with the rose gold, the coppery background. It's going to be further to the back. But this guy's coming in there going, look at me, it's all about me.
Ooh, yes.
Tiny little bit there I've missed off there. But then, so you can see how, are you ready? Just that you can use more than one colour in your project.
Ah, boom. Shake the room. That's incredible.
Pretty, huh?
I mean, talk about a masterclass in making backgrounds. That's that last 20 minutes, is that?
Yeah, and we
that's what it's
haven't
all
done
about.
these before. We've done some new stuff, haven't we? And like you think, how can there still be new stuff? But there is. Yeah.
Amazing. I love this technique, says Jean F. with the glycerin. Sarah Muir says Sheena didn't eat the what's it. It was the elf. Yes, the cheesy what's it elf. No
yes,
less.
exactly.
We're into the final kind of 20 minutes or so by the time we come back from this short break. So if there's anything you want to ask, please, for goodness sake, put it in the chat now or forever hold your what's-its. Pat says each background technique is stunning. I think after the holidays, I'm going to have an explore of my inks day. Yeah, we're going to have a short break. Shop the show, shop the day for all of the deals. And when we come back, any more...
Back to me.
Scared the life out of me there. When we come back, any more, genuinely let me jump, any more of your questions or comments, fire those in. And if we don't get any, Sheena will she'll play for the last sort of 20 minutes or so. So I'll just go and recover and we'll meet you back here in about 4 minutes' time.
Looks like on a normal day when I'm working from home, get up, breakfast, quick phone call with my daughter, and then I'm up in the craft room and I spend all my time in the craft room. If it's spending a day with the grandkids, that's it. That's my best part of the day, just spending time with family and those gorgeous little grandkids of mine. The best part of the day when I'm at work is when I go on air, because I absolutely love it. Both. I prefer a shower in the morning. I feel fresher, I feel that I can tackle my day. However, depending on how that day's been, I also would have a double shower. I'd have one in the morning and one at night too. Absolutely, 100% coffee will always be coffee. And flavoured coffee is my favourite at the moment. Dare I say it's a full English breakfast, the full works, the beans, the tomatoes, the sausage and everything else that goes with a traditional English breakfast. Craft along every day of the week. I absolutely love going through the stages from the start of a project to the end of a project. So craft along is definitely my favourite choice. Can't leave without my lipstick. It's a given thing. I once didn't have a lipstick on me and Leanne helped me out that day. kick off the shoes, sit down for a couple of minutes, just gather my thoughts and then grab my tea.
When I'm working, it's quite busy because I have to get up really early to come in to work if I'm going to be travelling from London. But otherwise, I'm quite lazy. I spend a lot of time in bed. Best part of my day is when we come in and I get to see everybody. I really enjoy being up here. It's really nice to see all my friends. It's my happy place. I do like to see everyone. And also, of course, if Christina's in, I'm getting my breakfast from Christina before I start the day. Riser without a doubt. No, I'm in bed at 9:30. Bath at night, shower in the morning. I'm very clean. Tea, the colour of the man. I like pancakes with bacon and maple syrup. Craft along because there's always a softer side to craft along. My phone, my life is my phone. Yeah, the phone and the dog, unless I'm coming up here and I can't bring the dog in. My favourite lunch isn't lunch, my favourite lunch is afternoon tea. That's what I'd like, lots of selection of sandwiches, some scones, or scones, some cream and jam, and some little cakes. But I couldn't have it every day because I'd be the size of a house. Oh, that changes to the moment. My favourite song at the moment is Natasha Bedingfield, Unwritten. Or make myself a cup of tea and go and have a bath.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you for all the comments. It's turned out to be what a heck of a masterclass this, isn't it? Hopefully, you can save it, add it to your playlist, bookmark it, whatever you do, so you can come back to it and try all the hints and tips and techniques later down the line. Wow, wow, wow. Rebecca says, thank you so much. Can't wait to try. Amazing, Sheena, says Beverly. I'm so excited, says Mary Pat, with all of this inspiration. Fantastic. I've forgotten how much fun it is just to sit down and play, Jane Addams. And I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, isn't it, from this show? And I think certainly, you know, working with Sheena in general is like, don't be afraid, just have a play, have some fun, you know, see what you can create. Few questions.
Yeah.
Could you, says Stephanie, use some of the foil rub-ons instead of stamping and embossing, or would the design not stick to that sort of project?
Well, I haven't tried it, but it should still stick. Yeah, as long as it's dry. You have to make sure the card is bone dry,
Yeah.
or then it wouldn't. So yeah, dry it really well.
And Rhonda says, can you use a stamp with glycerin? I don't always have the best of luck with the watermark types of inks.
Ah, yeah, you can. And what you could do is you can actually re-ink your ink pad with a touch of glycerin. Just drop a few drops of glycerin on your ink pad and you might find it's easier. Still use it like a pad, like a stamping pad, but put a few drops of glycerin on it before you do it.
Mary Pat says, exceptional masterclass. When it's our next sewing class, you say? I haven't kept up, so hopefully I don't miss it. Potentially in the new year, I'm not 100% sure. I know we're doing, without giving too much away, normally, you guys know, you watch us day in, day out, month in, month out. So when we start into January, we will be doing more of those sort of New Year, New Craft style shows. So potentially I could see, I don't know, but I would imagine that sewing might come into that. So stand by. As soon as we hear and we know, you'll obviously be able to see the schedules on socials and things like that. Linda says, great show. Thank you, Sheena, Ben, and the CTV team. You were just going to do a little bit of watercolour fusion, weren't you, before the end of the show? We've got about 10-15 minutes, so...
Yeah, I thought we would just do a quick little thing because, you know, this was what I brought out with the disappearing ink, and even though it's not in stock, it doesn't mean we can't use our watercolour fusion stuff. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my brush. Now this water is anything but clean. This this water I'm using now, it's
oh dear.
Murky. Yes.
Murky is the word.
Murky.
It looks like gravy.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah, pretty, lovely. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of this red, this pinky colour, maybe cerise or carmine or a mixture of the two.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go over my stamp with this I don't want this to show up a lot. I just want enough to be able to see. So I might have to stamp it once to see if I'm going to be able to see enough of it. And if not, then I'll add a bit more. But this is what you would be doing at home as well. So just enough to stamp and follow the line, okay?
Yeah.
I'm going to pop that like that. Yep, that's great. Got that. That's lovely. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I can take my brush that I would normally use for my watercolour fusion, and I can pick out this colour here and mix a nice colour, say make it pinky, but I might put a little bit of a warm orangey tone to it, make it a bit more peachy like this. And then you can start painting your brush strokes like this in the centre of your flower. And don't worry about following exactly the marks that you've got on there, as long as they're close enough and you can see them smaller, then getting a bit bigger with a little bit of pressure. And you're going to start forming your rose. And what you do as you come out is just add a little bit more water and press down a little bit more with your brush, and you'll get lighter petals.
Is this again on standard watercolour card?
It's on watercolour card, yes.
But could we use, because obviously with this deal we get your completely composed pad as well. So we could
do. Now that pad there, when you've used that pad, you'll see why I'm all kinds of excited whenever I'm talking about real artist watercolour card.
Yes.
That watercolour card is so expensive. We haven't passed the expense that you could have done, should have done to you with that, because it is so, the quality it's just, you know, a whole other ball game. It's a whole other thing.
So maybe if you're practice on like your lesser watercolour and then save that for
absolutely
special.
Yes, exactly. And and use that other stuff for your wall art. So when we look at that, we'll do it in a sec. So what I'm doing, I'm just going over and reinforcing some of these centre ones if I want, just to make it look so it looks a bit darker in the middle, and then it comes out and it gets a bit lighter as it comes around. But it's just a nice soft representation of a rose, see? And then we can pop a little leaf on there by doing the same kind of technique as we've just done with the with this. We'll use the green on the rocker block this time though, instead of the pink. We'll come to the pad in a sec as well. I'll show you that. We'll try and get to that quickly. So I'm using kind of like I want a neutrally kind of colour, but very pale, so just a little bit over there like that, and just that's enough to follow. Can you see how hardly any, and then you can just that'll do nicely there, just to show you again. So what I want to do is to mix a really cool neutral green. I can use one of these greens here. See, it's a very bright, vibrant kind of zingy green, isn't it? But if you pop a little bit of purple into it, it takes it right down and makes it much more, that's got a bit bluey actually there, so we want a little bit more green in it. It neutralises it. See, it's much cooler, So then you can literally just take your brush and just do a little wiggle. And don't worry about following the thing precisely. Yeah. Because you're just going to, and then when you've done that, you might think, okay, I feel a bit confident. I'm going to do another one, and I'm going to do it myself. And you can just, and that's the whole point with watercolour fusion, is that you learn and you build up your confidence to just do your own thing.
And what's quite nice, I'll take you through the boards in a bit, but you get a lovely selection of florals in this set as well, don't you? Some beautiful, beautiful stamps.
Absolutely, absolutely.
All your
Just
favourites, and I think
stunning.
some ones perhaps that you wouldn't expect to see in there. Like, there's a lovely selection of wildflowers in there as well, isn't there?
Yeah, they're really lovely, the cornflowers and things.
Yeah.
But you can see how quick that was. And then, do you want a quick look into the book? See how
Oh
that
yeah, why
works?
not? So, so this book, so it's got like blank pages, but then you've got images on there as well, haven't you?
Well, these are all ones that I've actually painted freehand. The reason they came about is, like this one on the cut on the front,
Yeah.
there was no stamp involved. This was me just painting a bouquet freehand, as you saw me paint that rose without the stamp underneath. Yeah, just painted all freehand. Then I drew over to create the blueprints for you. So all of these were original paintings, bouquets, that are then made into a little kind of follow it kind of tutorial
Yeah.
to paint over. So what you can do then is you can just take your water. Again, this is like you would with watercolor, you really are painting with water. So the secret is have as much water on your brush as you can control, but not and just drop the colour into it is
Yes.
what you're going to do. So these, because they're little wild roses, I just want a little bit of touch of colour here and there and vary it on the petals and leave some white on there as well.
And you've framed these as well, haven't you?
Oh, absolutely. The point with these is this is not for cards. This
No.
is too nice to put a card. You really want to gift these, put them in a frame and either sell them or gift them. These
Yeah.
are keepers, these little guys here. And then you've got that really pretty, delicate wild rose look there. And then we'll work on the centre. When that dries, we'll come back to that. But
Okay.
so just the yellowy colour base, just plenty of water with that little kind of dirty yellowy colour I've got. And then I'm going to drop in some of that pretty pinky colour
Yeah.
into it, and it gives it that lovely, delicate, wild rose look and colouring.
You also get, what's really nice, in the front of the pad, you get some detail from Sheena. You get the anatomy of a brush, which is interesting, and then hints on how to mix your watercolours. And there's also a QR code on the back of the pad. So is that tutorials?
Tutorials,
Ah,
yes.
brilliant.
Yes. I'm not sure, I've got to be honest, I'm not sure how many they got set up on that, but that was the intention. But have a look on my Facebook page and have a look on the Inkettes. Lisa Beecham has done some gorgeous tutorials using these. She's so good at watercolour. And you know what, Lisa? The first time we did watercolours on the team, Lisa had been on the team a while, and she got really scared. She said, I've never used watercolours, I don't know what I'm doing. She is absolutely amazing.
Is she?
And she only discovered that because she had the leap of faith and she had a try
Yeah.
and realised how good she is. Yeah, she's really good, lovely watercolourist. So, and then you can just have a little play and do your centres however you want them. And this brush is a little bit dry. Look after your brushes, keep them nice and tidy. Maybe use a slightly larger one for that.
Would it matter, I mean, because I know we have the Royal and Lang, Nicole,
Yeah.
and the Crafter's Companion brushes. I mean, does it really matter which ones we go for, or?
As long as it's a decent brush, that holds a point. You know
Okay.
what? They're so like expensive watercolour brushes,
Yeah.
Ben. And you know what? It's not necessary, especially if you're a learner, because some of the really, the watercolour brushes that watercolour artists really go crazy about and rave about, they're very difficult to control for a newbie because
Okay.
the bristles are really quite soft, and
Yeah.
the reason being they hold a lot of paint and a lot of water, so you don't have to reload the brush very often. But that being said, it doesn't have like this snap back, this spring back, you know, when it jumps back into shape. It doesn't do that, so it makes it more difficult to use for a beginner. So yeah, it's not always the best thing to buy the most expensive brush when you are just learning, to be sure.
Yeah,
To be
but-
sure.
To be
Sorry,
sure.
to be
Plenty of
sure,
options brush-wise on the website for you. You can buy individual ones, and you can buy obviously packs of the brushes as well. Softness is so pretty, says Mary Pat, and always a great day, says PB Brewer Martin, with Sheena and Ben for a masterclass. Thank you, Crafters TV team. Has been a great show, this. Thank you, everyone, for all of your questions that you eventually sent through. It has been a lot of fun. Well, it takes people a bit of time, doesn't it, you know, to get their questions through and think of the questions they want to ask. So better late than never is what I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. But look at how pretty the colours in there. And that's, you know what, and did you see the difference in painting it? Did it look easier painted on that card? Because it really is, guys. Once you've painted on the artist quality, we use an artist quality paint. These are artists, they're not crafting paints. These are not, for a card, dye-based things and pretty colours is great because cards are temporary. Artists, if they're going to be selling their art, they're going to be creating things, it's going to take a long time to create some amazing things. They don't want the light to hit it and it to fade. So there's got to be lots of colour in there, packed with colour, no fillers, which you've got, and they don't want it to fade, and that's what these watercolours are all about. But you also, you know, with the watercolour artists, there's three things, aren't there? There's brushes, paints, and paper. Do you know what they prioritise? Paper. Paper. Paper's the most important thing. This, if you haven't got this book yet, so we've got a bundle, yeah,
with the stamps as well.
Fantastic. And if you can get the book individually as well, it's the most fabulous way of teaching yourself watercolour in a colouring book style as you can. I can't do any better for you than what I've done for you to paint florals.
I can't explain what I mean when I say this, but you'll obviously know. Our watercolour cardstock that we have at Crafters is great, but when you get this home... For
crafting, for paper crafting.
You can feel and see the quality here.
So this is cellulose. This card here is wood pulp cellulose.
Right.
Yeah? Which is, it's not as durable, it's not as robust. You know, it'll only take so many times re-wetting it, and it'll start to peel. The surface lifts up, doesn't it? Yeah. And it goes all kind of like blotting paper and things. But that's great for regular card making crafting. Yeah. This stuff is cotton. This is 100% cotton.
You can feel it.
It feels completely different.
Yeah, it does.
It's more durable. It's tough stuff. This is. It will not buckle like the other paper. It's got a different texture to it. It's a different colour tone to start. Your colours will look more vibrant and natural on these, and the paint will move across the surface because it's not just about what it's made of, it's the stuff that's in here as well, the sizing. It's like a substance that's in the paper as well that makes the paint work a certain way. And this watercolour card is the stuff that I sourced for Leanne, and I said, this is what we want. There's a French company that is all watercolour artists. They'll say this is like the ultimate. This is what I buy because I think this is as good as that ultimate stuff. And I've paid stupid money on watercolour paper and card and paints.
Two quick questions and then I'll quickly rattle through all the stamps and obviously you're going to get the completely composed booklet within this set. Stephanie says, Sheena, how do you know where you leave white areas in your watercolouring? I am stumped.
Oh, fantastic question. You know what? You leave where there's going to be a highlight. You can always put paint on it later, but if you think that's where I want a bit of a light. So if you see a petal, more often it's where a petal dome. So if you think of a petal, the petal shape of the petal like this, where's the light going to hit? It's going to hit this bit, isn't it? So leave the centre white, put the paint around there and just add water to the middle, or nothing. Because that's what, with watercolour, the white is the card. You don't use a paint to paint white back in. You can, it's not against the law, but that's not traditional watercolour. You just leave the card white. So wherever there's a highlight, leave it. Let it be.
Let it be.
Back off.
Back off. Let me show you these whilst because we're going to run out of time. So let me show you the designs whilst I ask Sheena the other questions which have come in. Carol wants to know, you get all of these plus the pad. When are you back on camera, Sheena, says Carol. When are you back with us?
I am back on next Tuesday. Was it Tuesday? Tuesday, next week. Yay!
And Altje says, Sheena, do you have your own creations on your wall at home?
Yes, Maria and I do, you know, because again, Maria was a crafter when we first met, but didn't know she could paint.
Okay.
And I think I think it is the wonder of me, of course. I'd like to give her some credit, but she's just absorbed, you know, me. Like, you know, not really. But I think it's because we paint more together, and it just shows that she's done some amazing stuff. So there's actually more of Maria's art on the wall than mine. And I like that because for me, I'd rather encourage somebody else to realise how, and it sounds it sounds like, oh, come on, but it is true. Because I'm never going to be the quiet artist sitting painting all day. That's not how I want or have lived my life. I would rather teach you guys to be amazing. That's what I enjoy.
And that's what you have done today in spades. We have absolutely loved it. Thank you so much, Sheena. Safe travels back down south, and we'll see you a week tomorrow.
Yes, thank you. Cheers. Thank you, everybody. It's been lovely.
Don't forget to get the Whatsits.
Oh, yeah, better. Yeah.
Thank you for watching, everybody. What a brilliant, brilliant day it's been. And you know what? We continue tomorrow. It's going to be a fantastic day. Dee Rob is in the house. The Barnsley Bombshell is back. She has got a masterclass for you first thing tomorrow. We're talking all things shakery. Shaker tags, shaker cards, you name it, we're shaking it. And then tomorrow night, launch party is back. We've got on the show, the Modern Man collection is in that show. Also, we are getting majestic with some unicorns. And there's loads of other stuff too. There's loads of other stuff. Also tomorrow, there'll be another treat as far as our 12 days of Craftmas is concerned. So thank you for a fabulous day, everybody. Thank you to all of the team as per usual. Whatever you're doing for the rest of your Monday, enjoy, and we will catch you back here tomorrow from midday, 7 a.m. Eastern, 4 a.m. Pacific. Until then, thanks for watching and bye for now.